Beginning with the visitors.
All right, Aaron Thomas here for another exciting season of men's basketball here at CCBC Dundalk. It is the annual season opening mixer here at CCBC Dundalk. We're going to toss things over to our P announcer Brian, who's introducing us to the starters for our first game between Mercer Community College and CCBC Catonsville.
High School, number 11, Kevin Adams. From St. Catonsville High School, number 15, Nasib Brown. From Bristol High School, number 24, Deontay Harris. And from Brooklyn Theater High School, forward number 30, Kalula Ballard.
All right, there are the starting lineups for the Mercer Community College Vikings. We're going to meet the starting lineups for the CCBC Catonsville Cardinals momentarily.
Now, the CCBC Catonsville Cardinals. From Harrison High School, number 0, Monty Wright. From Paul Morris High School, number 2, DeAndre Gibson. From Kenwood High School, forward number 10, Keith Moody. From Calvin College High School, forward number 15, Everett Coker. And from WEB the Boy High School, forward number 15, Carly Payne. Cardinals are led by head coach Rick White, who is assisted by Marcus Hammond, Brian King, Kendrick Gibson, and Russ Holbrook. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your hats as we honor America, men and women of the armed forces, the flag, the star, spangled banner.
All right, Aaron Thomas back here in the broadcast booth. This is the first game of our doubleheader, first game between the CCBC Catonsville Cardinals and the Mercer Community College Vikings. We've already met the starting lineups for both of the teams. How about some keys to victory? Keys to victory for the Catonsville Cardinals. Start fast and end strong. On Tuesday's game against Howard Community College, they did walk away with the win, but they scored 56 points in the first half, only 45 points in the second half. That opened the door for Howard Community College to come back, make a comeback effort, and make the game close. They were able to walk away with the win, though, 101-96. Big thing in that Howard Community College victory, 52 free throws the Cardinals shot in that game. That is unheard of. You're going to win a lot of games when you have 52 opportunities at the stripe. 5 returning sophomores from last year's team on this Catonsville team. Players to watch out for: number 0, Montague Wright. Wright, 23 points and 7 rebounds on Tuesday's game. Also, number 2, Keandre Gibson, 19 points and 8 assists in Tuesday's game. And finally, but certainly not least, number 1, Keyshawn Hampton. Hampton had 6 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists off the bench for the Cardinals in their victory on Tuesday against Howard Community College. First possession of the game goes to the Vikings, had the open 3, decided to pass it off, took a contested 3, did number 15, Naseem Brown, but that was a 2. They're going to say the foot was on the line. First 2 points of the game, first 2 points of the evening for the Vikings, and it's a pretty contested jump shot from Brown. First offensive possession of the game for the Cardinals, working the ball from side to side, trying to get into the middle. Page is flashing at the post. No one's giving it to him. Montague Wright takes the 3 off the side of the rim. Easy rebound for the Vikings. Here come the Vikings with their second possession of the game. Interesting there, Page went from block to block, flashing on both sides, had deep position. Neither time did he get the ball. Here's a 3 by the Vikings. It's good! 5 unanswered points for the Vikings to start this game. Definitely not how the Cardinals wanted to start. Really want to get a basket here on this possession, and our first whistle of the game will go against the Vikings. Looks to be a little pushing down low. Number 5. Zangrana will get the whistle. His first foul of the game. Nice inbounds play there by the Cardinals, and we have our second whistle of the game. Vikings coach Howard Levy giving his team some words of encouragement. Howard Levy, got to be an honor to play for a guy like Howard Levy. Howard Levy played under Hall of Fame coach Pete Carroll, who is known for having developed the Princeton offense, which is a low possession offensive that is based on frequent ball reversal, movement without the ball, and backdoor cuts. Also played under president of the New York Knicks and 13-time NBA champion Phil Jackson. So Howard Levy, maybe he's learned a few things from the Zen Master. His defense didn't show it there. It's an easy basket there for the Cardinals. Their first basket of the game. Score is 5-2 now here in the early part of this first half. Trying to go behind the back, gets caught up. Good defense there by Montague Wright. The Cardinals trying to go from defense to offense with some urgency, and maybe just a little bit too fast. They turn the ball over. So that ball goes over the head of Everett Coker, who was cutting into the middle of the court, trying to get that transition basket. Good defensive play by Montague Wright, but not a very good pass. Another steal there by the Cardinals. That's Keith Moody. Moody trying to go to the hoop himself. The basket will not count. The ref waves it off, but the foul will stand. And we have our first substitution coming into the game for the Vikings. That's number 21, Terrence Wong. Wong is a freshman forward, stands at 6'1". He is out of New Jersey. He will come in for number 5, Zangrano. He's got 2 fouls already here in this game. Montague Wright with the inbound to Coker. Coker going right at his defender, tries to go down low to Page. Page seeing his first action of the game, gets it stolen from him. What a nice steal there by Gibson. Gibson, pull-up jumpers, good. 5-4 now here in the early parts of this first half. Good press, Gibson. Montague comes for the trap. Adams saw it just in time. Good passing here from the Vikings, trying to find that open shot. Tries to split the 2 defenders, and he is bailed out there. The foul will go on Keandre Gibson. Probably a bad idea there to try to split the 2 defenders, but Gibson bails him out with the touch foul. 5-4 is the score. 17 minutes and 40 seconds left here in the first half. Ball movement. Head coach for the Cardinals not happy. You hear him screaming over on that other side. Head coach White not happy with his team's rotational defense there. Gives up the open 3. It's 8-4 now. Head coach Howard Levy directing traffic on that side for the Vikings. And you saw the face on head coach Levy. He knew his team wasn't going to get away with that one. That was a pretty blatant push, especially when you're that close to the referee. You're going to get called for that every time. Gibson, long 3. Maybe too much of a Curry fan. That was That was from deep range. Didn't even have much of a chance. Brown trying to get past his defender. Decides to pass it over to Harris. Harris cutting in. Slide pass. Over to Adams. Adams puts it in. He misses, but he will get an opportunity to shoot some foul shots. Adams, good move there to get into the middle of the paint. Good things tend to happen when you get that ball into the painted area. And there, he wasn't able to get the 2 points, but he'll get an opportunity to get 2 points the old-fashioned way with the free throws here. 8-4 is your score. Head coach Great White over on the sidelines for the Catonsville Cardinals having a discussion with his two guards, Montague Wright and Keandre Gibson. Montague Wright and Keandre Gibson, one of 5 sophomores on this team. And I believe we have the stoppage in time because we're having some technical difficulties with the scoreboard. It still says that the score is 8-4. Keandre Gibson over to Wright. Wright flashes it to Coker. Coker turns, faces the basket. Alley-oop up to Page, who finishes it down. Great play from 2 teammates. Coker found Page, who cut backdoor and buried it. And that's going to be a blocking foul. Had the right idea there, but maybe came in just a little bit too close. Good idea. You like to see a player willing to put his body on the line. Early in this game, you don't mind giving up a foul like that, especially when it's the player's first foul of the game and only your team's second. Just got to keep those feet still. And you'll get the charge next time. Quick passes. Adams splits in, and he gets called for the travel. Real close there. He took that hop step. The referee's going to call the travel. Adams, very aggressive here in the early part of this game, getting into the painted area, setting things up for his team. Adams going to be one of the players to watch out for on this Vikings team.
Subbing in for the Cardinals, number 1,
Devon Adams, one of 2 returning players for this Vikings team. John Armstead, the other returning player. Armstead wears number 23, is a sophomore guard. He is on the bench right now, maybe coming in later in the game. Gibson splits, finds Page, rolling to the basket, doesn't make the basket, but he does get fouled. They'll have an opportunity for 2 points at the line. Great play there by Gibson and Page. Gibson draws the defense towards him as he gets into the painted area, flips it back to the big man who's rolling in. Page, he couldn't put the hammer down, but he will have an opportunity to get some points the old-fashioned way. Misses the first one. Keyshawn Hampton into the game. That's the first substitution into the game for the Cardinals. I said Hampton, one of the players to watch out for on this team. And 2 big missed free throws by Page. Had an opportunity to make this a 1-point game, but his team will still be down 3 after those 2 missed foul shots. Handoff into the lane, switches it off. A lot of black jerseys where he was trying to squeeze that pass. One of them got a hand on it, forced the turnover. Gibson faked like he was going to go for the 3, up and under, missed, and the rebound looks to be going to the Vikings, but Gibson is there, stays persistent, and ends up coming down with it. Pass out to Hampton. Hampton going to direct traffic, waiting for somebody to come towards him. Looks to take this pick. Does. Passes it off to Wright. Wright for 3. Good. We've got a tie game. 9-9 with just over 15 minutes left here in the first half. Wright dropped that ball in there perfectly after feeding the pass. Working it into the middle. Good hands by Wright. Forces the steal. Here comes the Cardinals. They've got numbers and the advantage. Gibson over to Hampton. Hampton up to Page. Or excuse me. Thought that was Page. That is actually number 10, Keith Moody. Great play there from the 3 Cardinals players. And it gets them their first lead. Wright gambled, but his teammates bail him out. as they steal. You can do that when you've got good defense behind you. Montague Wright gambled, tried to pick the pass off. He came up empty, but his teammates got the steal for him instead. Page flashing to get the pick. Hampton over to Moody. Moody in the corner. Page on that block is going to switch sides. Now flash to the high post. Gibson gets his shot blocked. Here comes Adams. He splits two defenders. He's got one more. Great play by Gibson to smack that away before he could get the shot up. But a tough play there from Keyshawn Hampton as he tried to bring it in, but it bounced off of his ankle or foot and went out of bounds. So what started out as a great defensive play by the Cardinals ends up in a mistake and a turnover. Gibson was blocked on the other end and then got a block on the defensive side. Get blocked and then block one yourself. But sadly, because of the mishap by Hampton, the Vikings will still be in control of this ball. Pass to Adams. Adams with an easy shot, just missed off of the glass. Here comes Gibson, or excuse me, Wright. Wright puts it in, misses the rim altogether, but good play there to get the rebound. Goes out of bounds. Looks like it was last touched by the Vikings, so the Cardinals will still have it. Montague Wright, you like to see him being aggressive, getting into the painted area, puts up the floater, doesn't even hit the rim, but he stays aggressive, stays with it, and ends up chasing down the loose ball, forcing it to go out of bounds. Last touch by the Vikings. Just under 14 minutes left here. Score is 11-9. Quick pass. Hampton faked the shot, now into the painted area, takes the contact, puts it up, tried to get his own rebound, but missed. And here are the Vikings. Adams with the ball in his hand. We have a timeout taken. I thought we were going to have a timeout taken. It looked like the Vikings were taking a timeout, but instead, the substitution coming into the game, number 23, Jordan Tucker. Tucker, a guard, freshman, stands at 6'2", at a vocational tech high school. And referee sending him out of the game to take off some of the jewelry or something that was on his wrist. We're going to be restarting the game momentarily. Adams with the inbound. Over to Brown. Brown dribbles between the legs, directs traffic, spins off his defender, looks to take the pick, but saw the double team was coming, decides to take it out once more. Now over into the corner. Looked like he wanted the three, decides to go into the paint. Floater, no good. Good rebound by Moody. Nice play there by Lorenzo Williams to get in an area where he could get the floater up. Shot by Tucker, his first of the game. It's no good. Just off the side of the rim. Adams over to Brown. Brown over to Wong. Wong to Williams, who finds Adams cutting towards the paint. Gets the 2 points. It's tied up once again. Neither team able to get much of an advantage in this game. The largest lead of the game was 5, and that was for the Vikings. Here, Coach White on that sideline for the Cardinals, yelling at his team. Somebody needs to get some movement. Right, over to Tucker. Tucker down. Page gets it blocked, and you heard the smack on the skin from over here. That means Page will be going to the line. He'll shoot his 3rd and 4th foul shots of the game. But remember, those first 2 foul shots of the game for Page were no good. Let's see what he does here on his 3rd and 4th attempts. Page came off the bench in Tuesday's victory for the Cardinals, now in the starting lineup here tonight on Friday. Page off the bench had 14 points and 9 rebounds. Here today, he's missed 3 straight foul shots. He's getting a little bit of words of encouragement from his teammate, number 2, Keandre Gibson. Gibson telling him to keep that shoulder up and follow through. These are important points. Miss 4 easy points in the early part of this game. That can come back to haunt you in the later part of the game. But finally, after missing 3 straight, he finally gets that 4th one to go down. But he'll take a seat on the bench. Number 22, Eddie Harry coming into the game. Seeing his first action of the game. 3-pointer in the corner. Doesn't touch rim. Easy rebound by Montague Wright. Wright taking his time. Going over to that corner on the far side. Tucker. Over to Gibson. Gibson. Cross. Now spin. Moody with the jumper. Good. And a good pick there by Harry to set Gibson up into the middle of the painted area where he was able to find Moody cutting in for the easy jumper. 14-11, largest lead of the game for the Cardinals. Over in the corner, Brown. Over to Harris, and a whistle blown against Montague Wright. Really tell that head coach Howard Levy of the Vikings puts a lot of emphasis on ball movement every time down the field. The Vikings, the ball's touching at least 3 or 4 players before going up for the shot. Thankfully for head coach White and the Cardinals are playing pretty good defense, so even when they get that shot up, they're not making good at it. Pass over into the corner, but a good play by Tucker to steal it. It's last touch by the Vikings. May have been better off there, number 24, Deontay Harris, may have been better off just going for the floater instead of throwing that shot over into the corner. Tucker, down low, Moody, over to Eddie Harry, and Eddie Harry, his first shot of the game is that mid-range jumper that Scottie Pippen made so much money off of. Moody tried to jump the passing lane and get the steal. Pass over into the corner. Now up top. Into the painted area. Nice play. Doesn't get the basket, but he will get the foul. A late whistle there. But Jameer Jenkins of the Vikings will go to the foul line and shoot some foul shots. Keith Moody with the foul. Jameer Jenkins will shoot 2. Want to go revisit that play on the other side of the whistle. That last Cardinals basket as the first foul shot for the Vikings is good. Great play to get Moody that ball on the block, and then great vision from the big man Moody to find the other big Eddie Harry, who was over there for the mid-range jumper. Big to big passing. Anytime you can get that on a team, you're usually in for a good season. A rebound by Tucker after the second foul shot is no good. Gibson takes the quick 3, buries it into that far corner, 19-12. Here come the Cardinals, getting things rolling on offense. Tony in the game for the first time for the Cardinals. Almost a turnover by the Vikings. They split the defenders, but finally the steal by the Cardinals. Very handsy defense by the Cardinals here. They've already forced a handful of steals in this game. Vikings started off strong, starting to fall apart here in the final 15 minutes here of the second half. Cardinals playing well on the defensive side, forcing steals, not giving any easy baskets. And on the offensive side, when the shots are there and they're open, they're knocking them down. Tucker drives baseline, finds Tony, who was cutting to the lane. Harry tried to put it back with the finish. Tried to get tied up there and forced the jump ball, but too strong are the Vikings big men. Now the Vikings on offense. Jab step, puts it into the middle. Now over to Harris. Harris goes right at his defender, almost a steal. The Vikings there to rebound it. Now put it in the middle, and there's the steal by the Cardinals. Back-to-back possessions ending in turnovers for the Vikings. Here comes Gibson working it into the middle, right for the corner 3. No good, in and out. Man, that couldn't be any closer. Adams doesn't have numbers, but he's got space, drives, takes the contact and finishes. Here's the quick inbound. Gibson going right at his defender, puts it up, and he will get the foul call, and he will take the foul shots. An interesting blocking foul call. Jameer Jenkins, I think, was in the restricted area, because it didn't look like his feet were moving. Regardless, he will pick up the foul, his first foul of the game. The score is 19-14. 9 minutes, 46 seconds left here.
Coming into the game from Mercer, number 35, number 15, Nassim Brown.
Nassim Brown and Lorenzo Williams coming back into the game for the Vikings. As you just heard from PA announcer Brian, timeout taken, I believe taken by the Vikings. If you are head coach White of the Cardinals, trying to figure out what your team can do here to maintain this lead. 21-14 is the score right now. The team is playing very well here in the past couple minutes, knocking down the open shots and making everything be very difficult for the Vikings. Vikings have not gotten any offense here in the last couple minutes. Your head coach, Howard Levy, for the Vikings, got to figure out a way to get your team some buckets. I think the key to that is just hitting the shots when they're open. They've been forcing the issue a little bit, trying to get that ball down low. Maybe take a couple more jump shots. Once your team sees those jump shots go in, maybe it'll be a little easier. Make the defense come out to you. Maybe that'll open things up down low. Because right now the Cardinals are zoning in the painted area. The Vikings are still trying to force it in there. The timeout's almost over. We have about 10 seconds left in the timeout. Like I said, Catonsville Cardinals are up in this one 21-14, an early 7-point lead. Encourage you to stick around for the second game of our doubleheader between the CCBC Dundalk Lions and Northampton Community College. That should also be an exciting game. We've already got an exciting game on our hands. Got a lot of basketball still to be played. This game is far from over. The Vikings still have an opportunity to get back into this one. Almost another steal. That would have been 3 straight possessions ending in turnovers for the Vikings. A whistle blows. Not sure what the call is, but the possession arrow will stay with the Vikings. Over in the corner, try to get the trap, did the Cardinals. Vikings saw it. That handsy defense has worked out for the Cardinals a lot of times today, causing a lot of turnovers, forcing a lot of steals. But that time, handsy defense ends up being a foul. 16 fouls here in the game so far. Adams over to Harris. Harris back to Adams. Adams dribble handoff to Brown. Brown tried to go back to Harris, but it's stolen by Gibson. Gibson has Tucker behind him, finds him, puts it up, and he lays it in for 2. A good play by Jordan Tucker to absorb the contact and put it in for 2 points. Like my dad always says, the pass is prettier than the shot. And that time, Gibson with the pretty pass to find Tucker, who was trailing behind him. Adams into the lane. I was getting ready to say good block by Harry, but it looks like he got a little bit of the body on it, on that block. And it will not count. As you heard there from PA announcer Brian, personal foul on Eddie Harry. 23-14, but Devon Adams an opportunity to cut into that lead here with some free throws. The first one's no good. See what he can do here on the second one. Adams, the second free throw is good. DeAndre Gibson. Double pick set up there between Harry and Page. He decides to go over to Harry. Hampton over to Gibson. Gibson goes down to Page. Page rolls over on that back shoulder. Tucker's there for the rebound, but he gets blocked, but Page runs down that rebound. Here comes Hampton into the middle. He doesn't get it. Page goes up there for the big rebound. He was brought down. Shot clock violation on the Cardinals. A great rebound by Page. Just overall great effort on that possession by the Cardinals. Didn't end up in any points, but took some time off the clock and padded those rebound numbers, and that's always a good thing. The Vikings need to get back into this game, need to start stringing some baskets together. Three-pointer, no good. He thought it was good, started to run back. Brown tried to save it, but Page, the big arms, is there for the steal. Gibson splits two defenders, puts it in with the finger roll off the basket, or excuse me, off the glass. 25-14 is the score after the pretty basket by Gibson. Brown, step back jumper on the shoulder, no good. Hampton with the rebound. Hampton up to Gibson. Gibson thought about the pull-up, decided to go to Tucker with a pretty pass, and Tucker couldn't finish it. Timeout taken by the Mercer Vikings. 25-14 is the score. We'll take a quick 1-minute break. We'll be right back after this. All right, teams are back out onto the court. That timeout was taken by the Vikings, so the possession arrow will still stay in their favor. They find themselves down in this one, down by 11 here. Brown will be taking the inbounds play. Has to be a stationary inbounds play. Goes over everybody's head, but luckily Adams is there to chase it down. Adams over in the corner. Armstead going right at his defender. Thought about the dribble handoff, decided to go to Adams instead. Adams splits two defenders, puts it in with the off the glass layup. Great play there to split the defenders by Adams. Gibson. Page is there for the pick. Gibson doesn't want it. He sends it back down, and he passes it over to Hampstead. Hampstead over to Harry. He's flashing over the three-point line. Gibson takes the pass from Harry, almost loses it. He's able to fight for it back. Harry over to Gibson. Gibson, great play to get that player up in the air, up and under, puts it up in. Man, if we did a SportsCenter's top 10 plays, that would be in the top 5. Gibson lullabied his defender to sleep, got past him, up and under, off the glass, 2 points. Here's Adams with the three, up the front of the rim. Page with the rebound. Quick pass up to Gibson. Gibson up the right, pull up three, off the front of the rim. Page tried to come in with the putback dunk. Let the Vikings get the rebound. Just over 6 minutes left here in the first half, and here comes Adams. Adams doesn't want the pick, decides to pass it down to Williams instead. Williams over to Armstead for three, in and out. Page with the rebound. Page over to right, taking his time, looking up at the clock, seeing how much time he has. Takes the pick from Page, puts it up, floater, it's good, off the front of the rim, then the back of the rim, but it goes through for 2 points. 29-16, just under 6 minutes left here in the first half. Brown down to Williams. Williams on the block, being defended by Harry. Harry Williams over to Armstead. Armstead had the open three when he first caught it, decides to go in, takes the contact, puts it in off the glass, but it doesn't go in for two, but he'll have an opportunity for 2 points at the foul line. Interesting there by Armstead. Armstead got the ball on the top of the key, had an open three, waited for the defender to come out for him, got past him, got into the painted area, elevated, took the contact, and got the shot up. First foul shot for Armstead is good. I said earlier, Armstead, one of two sophomores on this team. The other sophomore is Devon Adams. Adams was in the starting lineup. He wears number 11. Armstead coming off the bench for the Vikings. It's always nice to have that kind of leadership coming off the bench, especially at this level when you turn over so much of your team every single year. The Cardinals, one of the lucky teams here at this level, 5 sophomores. That's usually a lot for one team. 5 minutes and 30 seconds left here in the first half. 29 to 18 is the score. Montague Wright takes the inbound. Hampstead almost got caught in that corner with the trap, but he was able to get it out to Tucker. Tucker switches over to Wright. Wright, he's tall, but he's not that tall. That goes way over his head, and that'll be a turnover for the Cardinals. And Tucker getting some words of encouragement from his head coach, White, on the sideline saying, why are you rushing? Take your time. You are in the lead in this game. Let the offense come to you. Don't try and force the issue. Down low. Tried to find. They decided to go to Adams instead. Drives baseline. Here's Brown. Pull-up jumper. Good. That's his shot. Brown right at that shoulder. One dribble pull-up. That's the second time he's hit that shot. Let's see if they go back to him once again. Really one of the only players for the Vikings who's consistently getting baskets is Brown and Adams. Everyone else streaky shooting at best. Tucker, jumper off the rim, but Hampstead's there for the rebound. He tries to put it up, but he's fouled. Offensive rebounds absolutely killing the Vikings here in this game. The Cardinals just dominating the glass. The scoreboard reflects it, have an opportunity to push this lead back into double digits with the 2 foul shots here. Just over 4 minutes and 30 seconds left in the half. Tucker still getting the words of encouragement from the coaching staff on the sideline. Tucker playing big minutes off the bench here in this game, but making the most of it so far. First foul shot is no good. 29 to 20 is still the score. Second foul shot is good. 30 to 20 is now the score. So the score will go back to the double digits. And stoppage of play. We'll take the inbounds from that far sideline now. A lot of technical difficulties. Another set of technical difficulties with the scoreboard. The ref had blew the whistle, but the timekeeper had not started the clock yet, so they take 3 seconds off the clock, and we'll restart here. Adams, good defense by Montague Wright. Adams between the leg dribble a couple times. Now spins off right, good defense. Almost caused the turnover, but there was Harris to come down with it. Brown. Let's see if he goes back to that pull-up jumper. He's getting back to that middle of the court, right where he likes it. Tries for the Kemba Walker step back, but he got it caught up in between his legs. Maybe trying to go to the well too many times. Foul will go against the Cardinals. The Vikings will have the possession now. Substitution coming into the game for the Vikings, Rob Calabro. Seeing his first action of the game. Rob is a 6-foot freshman out of Hamilton, New Jersey. He went to Notre Dame High School in the New Jersey area. Adams going right at right. He gets trapped. 3 defenders right next to him. They cause the turnover. Great defensive play by the Cardinals. And I know I've said that once or twice here this evening. DeAndre Keandre Gibson back into the game for the Cardinals, and so is Everett Coker, both who were in the starting lineup but took a seat. They are now back into the game. Montague Wright over to Hampstead. Hampstead takes the baseline, goes in. Tucker tried to come down with the rebound. The basket wouldn't have counted even if it would have went in. The ref waved off the basket once he blew the whistle. But Tucker will go to the line and shoot some foul shots. Keyshawn Hampton making the most of his minutes here in this game. He has been a force on the glass ever since coming into the game, getting things opened up for his teammates as well. You saw there on that play, got the ball on that far sideline, drove baseline, put the shot up, wasn't able to get the shot, but it set Tucker up for the rebound, and now Tucker's on the line to shoot some foul shots, trying to increase this lead. They're in the 1-and-1. So the first foul shot was no good, so he will not get a second. 30-20 is the score. Adams almost trapped, got out of it. Williams over into the corner. Here's Harris for three, no good. Hampton with the rebound. Hampton taking it himself. Thought about the pull-up three, decides to get to Wright instead. Wright off the back iron, but almost got the steal on the rebound from Williams. Here's Adams. Adams going right at the defender, inside out. Got trapped once again, has to pass it out to Harris. Harris gets trapped on the sideline, or excuse me, the out-of-bounds line, and he dribbles it off his foot and it goes out of bounds. 3 minutes left here in this first half. 30-20 is the score. Tucker will take the inbounds. And the Cardinals are still up in this one, 30-20. I don't know who Gibson was talking about, but Gibson was saying that he was going to get somebody an easy bucket. Gibson over to Wright. Wright over to Tucker. Gibson faked the shot, decides to take the pick. Step back three is nothing but net. You can hear that swish from all the way over here. Gibson continuing to assert himself on the offensive side. And a turnover by the Vikings. The Vikings, I think, are playing a little bit too fast here in this game. Every time they get down on the offensive side, they're forcing that ball into the middle, and they're turning it over. The Cardinals just got a handful of steals in this game. They may be in closer to 20 steals by the time this game is over, because I'm pretty sure they're already close to the double digits. Montague Wright into the painted area, puts it off the glass, but the bank wasn't open on that shot. And the whistle blows. Possession arrow will go in favor of the Vikings. We have a timeout on the floor as we have an injured player for the Vikings. We'll take a timeout as well as the trainer is out onto the court. We'll be back right after this. All right, we are back here. The injured player is off the court. We'll try to give you an injury update if we can. And once again, like I said, the Vikings trying to play a little too fast and try and go for the quick pass up the court. It goes over everyone's head and out of bounds. And with 2 minutes left, possession once again.
Everett Coker. And first we'll start number 20.
Montague Wright bringing the ball up over to Coker. On that far side, Coker almost had it stolen from him, was able to pick it up. Moody with the finger roll was no good, but Wright almost chased down that rebound, but he was unable to get it before it goes out of bounds. So the Vikings will have possession once again with just under 2 minutes left. Almost a turnover there by the Vikings, but Williams is able to get out of it. Williams over to Jenkins. Jenkins loses, but the possession arrow will stay with the Vikings.
Coming into Catonsville, number 5, Keon Keys.
Jenkins will take the inbounds play. He finds Adams at the top of the key. Adams over to Armstead. Armstead looking for something. Great defense there by Keon Keys. Well, it was great defense until he committed the foul. His team is in the bonus. So John Armstead will shoot the 1-and-1. He's good on the first one. Cuts into this lead, makes it a 12-point game. Let's see if he can make it an 11-point game with this last foul shot. 2 substitutions coming into the game for the Vikings. Number 5, Zungrane coming into the game, and Nassim Brown coming into the game as well. I said it earlier, Brown, one of the only players on this Vikings team consistently creating his own offense. Everything else has pretty much been pulling teeth for this Vikings team. Clock continues to run as the ball is just bouncing around. Head coach White still barking out those directions on the sideline, wanting his team to move around as shot clock will be turned off. Or excuse me, the shot clock will be turned back on. I thought that they had let the clock run a little bit too long there. 1 minute and 30 seconds left here in the first half. Keandre Gibson over to Coker. Coker up and under, couldn't finish it. Moody was there, thought he was going to get the rebound, but good hands there by the Vikings to smack it away. But the possession arrow will stay in favor of the Lions. Interesting, Lorenzo Williams took a seat on the bench for maybe 8 seconds. He's back into the game that quickly. Montague Wright over to Moody, a dangerous pass, and it does result in a turnover. Adams to Armstead, that was a dangerous pass as well, but Armstead was able to chase it down. What a block by Tucker! Wow, what a block on Tucker, or what a block by Tucker on Harris. Harris, welcome to the block party, young man. Refreshments are on the bench. Coker couldn't make him pay with the triple, but Montague Wright chases down the rebound, puts it in for 2 points. And what a defensive effort by the Cardinals here in this first half. Another defensive play by Montague Wright, but he gets called for the whistle. A late whistle there by the ref. Looked like the ball had already come out before the whistle was blown. Regardless, Montague Wright's going to be called for the foul. That handsy defense has resulted in a lot of steals here in this game for the Cardinals, but it's also resulted in a handful of penalties. Montague Wright, 2 fouls, in this game already. They're in the bonus. It's the team's 10th foul of the game. 48 seconds left. That could result in some easy baskets. Vance Zangrana back into the game for Lorenzo Williams. Williams is playing for 15, 20-second spurts at a time. Armstead makes good on both foul shots, and it is now an 11-point game once again. And how big would it be for the Vikings to cut into this lead and make it a single-digit lead going into halftime after trailing really by double digits for the last 10, 15 minutes. 35 seconds left here in the first half. Keandre Gibson directing traffic. Good defense by Brown. Gibson thought about the pull-up, got past Brown, And you heard the smack of the skin over here in the broadcast booth. Gibson, a great play to lull Brown to sleep, get past him, get into the lane. It looked like he was trying to go for the floater. The smack of the skin. And we got technical fouls on Adams and Gibson. Had some jawing back and forth between the two players, but it didn't look that serious. Looks like the referee just trying to get back in control of this game. So it'll be a double technical, so there'll be no foul shots for the technical.
Number 2, Gibson, and Mercer, number 11, Adams.
So since it's a double technical, there'll be no foul shots on the technical, but Gibson will still shoot his foul shots for the foul on his shot a couple seconds ago. The referee trying to get give an explanation to head coach White of the Cardinals, but I don't think Coach White got the explanation he wanted. But he will take a timeout, and we'll take one too. We'll be back right after this. All right, Aaron Thomas back here in the broadcast booth for the final 29 seconds of the first half. The score is 35-24. The Cardinals are up by 11 here in this one. The Vikings got out to the early lead here in the first half, but ever since then, it's been all Cardinals, and they've been driving in the fast lane with a double-digit lead pretty much the majority of the past 15 minutes. And the two foul shots for Gibson are good. Don't forget, fans, Gibson does have a technical in this game after getting the double technical off the jawing back and forth between him and Devon Adams. Ball goes out of bounds. That'll be last touched by the Cardinals, so the Vikings will have the inbounds play on that far sideline near their bench. Lorenzo Williams once again back into this game after taking a quick little break on the bench. 25 seconds left in the first half. I said it would be huge for the Vikings if they could make this lead a single-digit lead before getting into halftime. It's starting to look pretty unlikely. They're going to need a 3 and then a quick steal if they want to cut this lead into single digits, as right now the Cardinals are up by 13. Have a timeout taken by the Vikings. We'll stay here. Don't forget, stick with us at the halftime. We'll have an exclusive interview with the head coach of the CCBC Catonsville Cardinals, Coach White. Coach White, I know from my experience interviewing him, he's a fiery individual, very passionate about his team. So I'm sure he'll have some interesting comments for his team, about his team at the halftime period. They're 25 seconds away from that halftime period. The Vikings going to need to make some serious adjustments in the second half if they want to have any hope of making a comeback here. The scoreboard doesn't say they're down by much. 13 points, not a lot here in the game of basketball, but anything is possible. Into the middle. And almost a turnover, and it will go down as a turnover. Terrence Wong had that ball, or excuse me, Jeremiah Jenkins had that ball deep in the painted area, but he wasn't able to control it, tried to spin off the defender. That's when he lost it completely, went out of bounds, last touch by Jenkins. So the Cardinals will take over with just over 10 seconds left in the first half. Gibson directing traffic, going right at his defender. He's got about 5 seconds, got to make something happen. Coker with the 3, no good, off the front of the iron, or excuse me, the back of the iron, and hits the top of the backboard, so that's automatically an out-of-bounds play. And with 1 second left, the Vikings will have an opportunity for a Derek Fisher play.
5, Keon, please.
Coach White making sure his players know not to let anybody get behind him. And they do just that. As Tony does his best impression of a free safety, bats that ball down. That'll be all she wrote for the first half. We'll be back for the second half after this. Stick around for the interview with head coach White. I am Aaron Thomas, and we're back. We're standing here with the head coach of the CCBC Catonsville Cardinals, head coach Great White. What'd you think about the first half?
Well, I think that we missed too many free throws in the first half. If we make 5 or 6 more free throws, then we got a nice, comfortable lead going into halftime. So we got to cut down on the missed free throws and capitalize off the finishes.
It's interesting that you say that, because I was going to ask you about the free throws. Is you guys got to the line a lot on Tuesday's game. Do you want to see your team pick up the aggressiveness in the second half and maybe get to the line a couple more times?
Yeah, sure. So that's basically our plan. Is just attack the hole, and so we can bust this lead open, and then we can play our style of game.
Asking a coach if we can get easy baskets, a pretty slam dunk question, right? What do you want to see your team do here in the second half outside of getting to the line?
I just want to see my team put more ball pressure on the ball, shut the lane down, squeeze the lane, and then once we do that, then we'll run out. We should blow the lead out.
Sounds pretty good. Thank you very much for your time.
All right.
Good luck. I'm Aaron Thomas. We'll be back with the second half right after this. And we are back here for the second half of the first game of our doubleheader. First game between Mercer Community College Vikings and CCBC Catonsville Cardinals. Leading scorers at halftime for both teams. The Cardinals, number 2, Keandre Gibson. No surprise there. He's the leading scorer for the Cardinals. Really driving the offensive train for the Cardinals in the first half. Gibson in the first half had 14 points. Leading scorer for the Vikings, number 11, Devon Adams. Adams had 8 points in the first half for the Vikings. And he's going to need to continue that in the second half if the Vikings want to have any kind of an opportunity to get back into this game right now. As we are about to start the second half, the Vikings find themselves in a 13-point hole and really not playing good basketball to finish the first half. At one point, they had 4 straight possessions end with a turnover. And at any point you can say that, you know that your team's not having the best of games. The Vikings really struggling to get things going offensively, but I can't say the struggles are all on them as the Cardinals have played terrific defense here in the early part of this game. If you weren't able to see it, I had an interview with Coach White of the Cardinals at halftime. Coach White wanted to see his players be a little bit more aggressive and get to the line, but not only get to the line, finish at the line. The Cardinals missed a lot of foul shots. Coach White knew that if his team could have made 4 or 5 of those foul shots that they missed, this game may already be over. And that's not the case. The score is 37-24. It's a 13-point lead for the Cardinals, and we'll restart this once again after the trickery. Gibson on that far sideline, directing traffic, sending the hand signals. He wants Coker to cut. He does. Coker going right. Defender puts the shoulder in, puts the shot up. No good. It's off the iron. Who will come down with this rebound? The Vikings do, but we have a tie-up, and we're going to have a jump ball where the possession arrow is going in favor of the Vikings. So good aggressive play there by Coker to get into the lane. I think he thought he may have got a little bit more contact on the shot, may have earned himself a trip to the line, but the ref saw it a different way. Brown with that pull-up jumper, that was his shot in the first half. Got a couple baskets off of it, but here in the early part of the second half, it's no good. Coker thought about the 3, decides to drive and float with the left hand. Nice play by Coker. They get the shot. And Montague Wright with another steal. That's something we've seen a lot of here in the early part of this game. The Vikings getting the ball on the offensive side, and that first steal and that first pass is stolen by the Cardinals. Good play by the Cardinals trying to trap under the Vikings basket, and they call the timeout. Or excuse me, they're going to say he was out of bounds. We're waiting the official call. I thought he got the timeout in time.
Correction, timeout, Mercer.
And we get the correction from the PA announcer, Brian. It was a timeout taken by the Vikings. Stinks you have to waste a timeout so early in the first half, so early in the second half like that. But when you're trapped under your own basket, already down by 5 points, you can't afford to give up easy baskets like that. So with a scored 39-24, the Vikings will take the inbounds once again after this quick timeout. The Vikings have really got to get something going offensively. They need to slow things down and let the offense come to them. Stop trying to force the issue, because these easy turnovers for the Cardinals are really coming back to haunt the Vikings. That was the case late in the first half, and that is the case here early in the second half as well. You see the conversation going on between Gibson and Wright. Those two have been communicating all game long. That's a dynamic duo at the guard positions for the Cardinals. And hands on the body for Wright. You see head coach White pleading with his guard Wright to get his hands up in the air. That's a couple ticky-tacky fouls Wright has had in this game. He's got to be careful. Remember, we had the double technical the last 30 seconds of the first half. Gibson and Adams, for the respective teams, were given technicals for the jawing back and forth that happened. Baseline drive is good, and no, they're going to wave off the basket. What a charge taken there, I believe, by Wright. Back when I played basketball, my dad used to pay me $1 for every charge I took. Never got paid a single dollar. Gibson bringing the ball up here. The whistle blown will go against the Vikings. Substitution will be coming into the game. We've only played 1 minute and 30 seconds here in the second half, but it seems like we've played a lot more as we've had so many stoppages.
Substitution into the game for Mercer, number 23, John Armstead.
John Armstead, the other sophomore on the Vikings team, coming into the game. Of course, the other sophomore, number 11, Devon Adams. We're having a discussion at the scorer's table between head coach Howard Levy of the Vikings, head coach White of the Cardinals, and the referee. A meeting of the minds at the scorer's table. Had a lot of technical difficulties here in the early part of this second half. Had a couple in the first half as well. It's added some time into this game, that's for sure. Referee trying to say, come on, let's go, like we haven't been saying that for the past 30 seconds here. I know nobody wants to restart this game more than the players, that's for sure. See the looks on their faces starting to get a little restless. Wonder what the problem is here. And it looks like we're finally about to restart this second half here. All right, now we're back. Finally, after that technical difficulty, we are finally restarted here. Montague Wright, dribble handoff to Coker. Coach White screaming at Coker as soon as he got that foul. Ticky-tack play, but definitely a foul. Keyshawn Hampton coming into the game. Keyshawn Hampton coming into the game for the Cardinals. Hampton, the first player off the bench once again for the Cardinals here. Hampton played big minutes in the first half. Trying to play big minutes here in the second half as well. Adams with a nice play. And what a block by Moody. Welcome to the block party, young man. Refreshments are on the bench. Ballo with the shot and the rejection by Moody of the Cardinals. And an interception by Hampton. Hampton tried to put it in with the finger roll, but Coker was there for the rebound and the putback. 41-24 is the score now in favor of the Cardinals. Brown cutting over to Adams. Adams thought about the three, decided to go back to Brown. Brown jab step back to Ballo. Ballo's called for the travel. Can't have turnovers like that when you're trying to get back into the game. Comeback hopes are starting to look slimmer and slimmer for the Vikings with every tick of the clock. Still an opportunity, that's for sure, but the way the Cardinals are playing right now, defensively and offensively, it's going to be hard. Coker, three-pointer on the baseline, no good. Chase down. The rebound did Armstead of the Vikings, but a steal by the Cardinals. Gibson up to Moody. Moody thought about going up for the dunk on that pass from Gibson. I don't think Moody was ready for the alley-oop pass, but he ended up catching it, putting in for 2 points regardless. 43-24 is the score. Jenkins over to Adams. Adams went right into the Catonsville defender, Keon Keys, but Keon Keys couldn't move his feet fast enough and got called for the foul. And the look on his face after the whistle blew said it all. I think he was pretty surprised that he was called for the foul there. Just under 17 minutes left here in the game. The score is still 43-24. Adams, floater, tried to go off the glass, but the bank was closed, on that play. Gibson tried to get past his defender, and the foul.
Catonsville foul, number 50, Harvey Page.
Harvey Page called for the push-off.
His second team score.
Page only his second foul of the game. Page made some plays in the first half, but didn't play big minutes. That'll be a foul as well. That was a frustration foul, almost like a punch in the face to Lorenzo Williams as Page came in with the arm pretty high.
His third, team's fifth. Coming into the game for Catonsville, number 22, Eddie Hardy, and number 1, Keyshawn.
Eddie Harry back into the game. Keyshawn Hampton back in as well. Hampton played a little bit in the second half a couple minutes ago, but now he's back in. Probably play some bigger minutes now that he's back in. Wilkins gets past one defender. Pass over to Williams. Corner three off the front of the iron. Chase down, rebound though. Armstead faked the three, decided to go in off the front of the iron and good. Gibson. Pass down low to Moody. Moody lost it over that shoulder and got whistled for the travel. Moody, a good play to get into the painted area, but once he tried to turn over that shoulder, he got that ball trapped up a little too high and lost control of it. Whistle blows. Head coach Howard Levy wants an explanation. Head coach Howard Levy having some words with one of the official. Not happy with how this game is going for his team. It's a far cry from how this game started, as the Vikings really dominated play in the first half, in the first couple minutes of the first half. But after that, once the Cardinals got a foot into the door, they were able to pry it open and get some baskets on the board. That's why their team is up big in this one, 43-26. Got about 30 seconds left in this timeout break. Keys to getting back into the game for the Vikings. I'm not sure if there are any. Just make shots, really, at this point. You're going to throw the game plan out the window and just find something that works offensively and defensively and just stick to it. Try and just keep putting points on the board as much as you can. A big reason why the Cardinals are ahead in this game is their dominance on the boards, not just the defensive boards, but the offensive boards. A lot of second chance points in the game for the Cardinals. And the scoreboard absolutely reflects it. 43-26. Williams with the back to the basket. Hands off to Wong. Wong, that's through. I believe Harry got a piece of that and got the block. Gibson almost lost it. Spins off his defender. Offensive foul. He put the body right into Devon Adams. Gibson trying to plead his case with the ref. It did seem a little ticky-tacky there, but when you force the action there and you initiate the contact with the defender, you're going to get called for that sometimes. And there, it was a little too blatant. Tried to force that pass in between two defenders, but one of the Cardinals defenders got a foot on it. And that'll go down as a kick ball. 15 minutes and 30 seconds left here in the second half, 43-26. Keandre Gibson being told to tuck in his shirt. Trying to cut to the basket for the Vikings. It's unsuccessful, caused a turnover. Gibson, alley-oop pass. He can't finish it. Ken Moody. Here come the Vikings with transition. Williams with the pass. Can't be controlled, but Armstead comes away with it. He's trying to come away with his own rebound after he missed the layup. 2 layup opportunities for the Vikings. Both of them missed. That perfectly pretty much sums up the afternoon for the Vikings. Opportunities, just not making the most of them. Gibson, dribble handoff to Hampton. Hampton with the handoff to Coker. Coker, floater, no good, rebound. Here comes Adams. Adams gets past the defender with a nice move. Hands it off to Williams. Jump shot, good. And that seems like the first basket the Vikings have had in the last 10, 15 minutes. Gone a long period without getting a basket. The scoreboard absolutely reflects it. 43-28 is the score. Gibson trying to force the issue, but he is fouled in the process. Was not in the act of shooting, so they'll have a inbounds play here. Jordan Tucker coming back into the game. Tucker played some big minutes in the first half, made some big plays, hit a couple jump shots, and had that big block. Let's see if they can keep up the pressure, and the inbounds play is a quick one. Just a little toss up to Harry. The Vikings defense wasn't ready, and Harry got to put in easy 2 points. Brown down to Williams. Williams has it stolen away from him. Can he get it back? He can. Tried to dribble out of it. He has to pass it back to Armstead. Armstead, dribble handoff. Adams. Working into the paint. One-footed floater is no good. Now Coker. Coker. Tried to tried to Euro step past that last defender and get a shot up. John Armstead wraps the arms around Coker, doesn't let him get a shot up in the air. So more fouls for the Vikings here in this one. Harry gets the inbounds. Can't go up with the shot after that one, but passed it back to Coker, who passed it right back to Harry. Harry stepped on the inbounds line, or actually they're going to say the Vikings fouled Harry. So another foul by the Vikings, getting close into that bonus area. Pass to Coker, real close to the sideline. Almost was a turnover, but Coker was able to possess it, pass it over to Tucker. Tucker decides to go the opposite direction of the pick, puts up the shot, no good. Good defense there by the Vikings. Brown over to Armstead. Armstead over to Adams. Adams for 3, just off the front of the rim. Coker thought he had the rebound, and a couple Vikings players behind it knocked the ball out of his hand. But it's last touch by the Vikings. Once again, the Cardinals will have the ball with 13 minutes and 30 seconds left here in the game. Keandre Gibson coming back into the game. He's subbing in for Keyshawn Hampton. Gibson led all scorers in the first half with 14 points. Hasn't been the offensive force he was in the first half, but his team hasn't needed him to be. His team well in the lead here. Up and under wouldn't have counted even if it went in, because the whistle was blown before then, and the foul will go against the Vikings. John Armstead, his second team foul. Head Coach White calling the play out from the sideline. Wasn't it well executed play as it results in a turnover? Adams goes in for the layup, puts it in off the glass. The bank was open on that shot. Good recovery defense by the Cardinals trying to force that block off the glass. But a good play by Adams to take the contact and put it in. Gibson up and under. He's fouled in the act of shooting. This time he'll take some foul shots. You can see the look of frustration on his face. I think he thought he was going to be in the mood for an and one, but he couldn't complete the basket. But an opportunity to make this 15-point lead a little bit bigger. 45-30 is the score right now. And they're going to try and make it a little bit bigger. Keyshawn Hampton coming into the game for Keon Keys. Hampton has been coming in and out of the game a couple times here in the second half. Gibson with the second. That's good. He makes good on both of them. 47-30 is the score now. You heard Coach White say it at the halftime, during the halftime interview. He wanted to see his team get to the line and finish at the line, and Gibson did just that, getting the 2 foul shots and making both of them. Brown over in the corner, baseline drive, and the foul by the Vikings. That's the second. It's the second charge the Cardinals have been able to get. Third foul of the game for Bola. Gibson. That'll be a foul. Jordan Tucker called for the illegal screen there.
Coming into the game for Mercer, number 20, engineer Jenkins.
Brown over to Adams. Adams going right at his defender, Gibson. Over to Brown, right back to Adams. Adams, good defensive play by Harry. Almost forced the turnover, and another charge for the Cardinals. Offensive foul. John Armstead, his fourth team foul, his fourth foul, his team's 8th foul. Harry with the dunk, the basket won't count. A charge on the court for the Cardinals on the other side, and the Vikings get one back. What a play by Gibson to dump it off, but he was a little bit too reckless going into the body of the Vikings defender, and he's called for the foul. That's a good whistle by the referee there. And the feet were obviously planted. It was just outside of the restricted area. Coach White trying to plead his case with the referee, but I've never seen a referee overturn a call in all my years of watching basketball. I don't think I'm going to see one tonight. 12 minutes left here in this game. 47-30 is the score. Substitution just came into the game for the Vikings. Rob Calabro. Calabro, remember, left the game in the first half with the ankle injury. He is back, and Harry with the block on Lorenzo Williams. Welcome to the block party, young man. Refreshments are on the bench. Harry with the 3. Good! Harry, he can stretch it out for a big man. Harry stands at 6'6", one of the tallest players on this team at Coconut Creek High School. Harry showing the range there with a triple. We've seen him a couple times hit that mid-range jumper. This time, the first time we've seen him all game, stretch it past the three-point line. You always like to see that from your bigs. Makes defending the pick and roll so much harder when you have a big who can stretch that court and hit the mid-range jumper, or even stretch out past the three-point line and hit the 3. You see Chris Bosch has made a living of that in the NBA. Here's Jenkins with the up and under, no good. Harry once again there with the rebound, almost had it stolen away from him. He forgot he was a big man for a second, trying to go coast to coast. Moody down low, Moody tries to take the contact and bury it, doesn't, was fighting for the rebound, but got outbid by Williams. Williams over to Brown, Brown over to Jenkins. Jenkins puts it back to the defender, now rolls off, going right at him, going into the middle of the court. With the glass, off the glass, 2 points for Jenkins. A nice play by Jenkins there on the far side of the court, rolling off his defender, working his way into the middle, getting towards that block and using the glass to his advantage. It's there for a reason, kids. Learn it, learn to use it, and learn to love it. We got a minute left here in this halftime break. Vikings, I think they're comeback hopes have been pretty much destroyed as we have not a lot of time left, and it's an 18-point lead for the Cardinals. And I know head coach Howard Levy would like to see his Vikings players continue to fight. I said earlier, Howard Levy, the head coach of the Vikings, he played under the president of the New York Knicks and 13-time NBA champion Phil Jackson. If he learned a couple things from the Zen Master, I'm sure it's to never give up on any game. Could be a tough season for the Vikings here, as they only have 2 returning players from last year's team. A freshman-heavy team doesn't always mean good things, but that's the problems you face at this level. When you only have a player for 2 years, you turn over your team so much every year, especially when you have transfers coming in who can only play for 1 year. It's tough to coach at this level, but that's what separates the men from the boys. Only 10 minutes and 42 seconds left here in the second half. I want to encourage you guys to stick around for game 2 of our doubleheader. This is the CCBC Dundalk men's basketball mixer. They have this every year to kick off the season. The second game will be between Northampton Community College and your CCBC Essex Dundalk Lions. I'm excited to see the Lions this year. See what they'll be bringing to the table. Keyshawn Hampton controlling the ball. There we had a SportsCenter's not top 10 play. Hampton gets past the defender, pull-up jumper, no good. That hit the back of the rim, but Eden had no chance. That wasn't a very good shot, and it goes right over the shoulder of number 21, Terrence Wong. Was a little too fast cutting into the basket, and his teammate put the pass behind him. He wasn't able to get his hands on the ball fast enough. Under 10 minutes left. 50-32 is the score now. Montague Wright. Pass over to Harry. Harry, jab step jumper off the back of the rim. Adams with the ball at the top of the key, over in the corner. There's Brown. Brown been very quiet here in the second half. There's the jumper, no good. Harry with a nice rebound. Harry running the court. Three again. That one's off the back of the rim. He hit a three earlier. He misses that one. And the substitution getting ready to come back into the game for the Cardinals. That looks to be number 32, Ursi Tony. Adams Adams over to Brown. Brown thought about going towards that basket, decides to come back towards the middle of the court. Gets past Hampton into the body of Harry, puts it in, no good. Coker's there for the rebound. Coker now gonna run. Pass up to Montague Wright. Wright down to Harry on the block. Over to Tucker. Tucker jumper is no good. Coker's there for the tip in. That's a great play by the Cardinals, and that's the reason why they're up by 20 points here. They've done that continuously throughout the game, getting those offensive rebounds and turning them into points. You talk to any basketball fan, if a team wins the rebound battle, they're usually going to win the game, and the Cardinals have won the rebound battle, and they're absolutely going to win the game. 8 minutes left here in the game. It's 52-32 in favor of the Cardinals. It has been a tough afternoon for the Vikings. They started off hot, but just ever since that quick start, it has been all Cardinals. The Vikings can't find anything that works offensively or defensively. And head coach Howard Levy will have a lot to say to his team after this game. Head coach Howard Levy trying to plead himself with the referee, trying to say that there should be some more time put on the clock, I believe. Had a lot of stoppages here in the second half. Coach Levy was a couple seconds away from getting a technical there. Armstead over to Williams. Williams. And that's Wong in the corner. Excuse me, that's Jenkins in the corner. Jenkins no good on the corner three. Montague Wright. Wright thought about the pull-up three. Decided to kick back to Harry instead. Harry. The pass over to Hampton. Hampton. Dribbles through over onto the other side now. Tries to go down to Tucker, who's on the block. Tucker is fouled before the ball can even reach him. Jenkins with the foul there, tried to get in front of that ball and deflect it away before it could get to Tucker. But Tucker, he's a big-bodied player on this, on this Cardinals team. Only stands at 6'2", but it is a big man for a man who stands at 6'2". And the 1-and-1 comes up empty. Tucker misses that one off the front iron. Armstead had an open three, but decided not to go for it. Jenkins thought he picked up that pivot foot, but referee didn't see it. Adams. And the referee gives the timeout to the Vikings. Head coach Howard Levy is livid on the sideline with his team and with the officials. We'll take a break too. We'll come back right after this. 52-32 in favor of the Cardinals with 7 minutes left. And we are back here to finish up the second half. And the travel called on Adams. Adams was the leading scorer for the Vikings in the first half. He has been pretty quiet here in the second half. Pretty much this entire Vikings team has been quiet here in the second half, and the scoreboard reflects it. Straight to the rack by Montague Wright. Puts up the floater, picture perfect after taking the pick. You don't draw it up any better than that. Adams over to Jenkins, over to Armstead. Armstead gets trapped in the corner. He's got to get it out. Long pass, and that is a foul. And took a hard hit on the ground. Did number 13, Rob Calabro. He's holding the side of his head. I'm sure he'll probably be taking a seat on the bench momentarily. Actually, he's got to stay in for right now and going to take his foul shots. He's going to tough it out so he can take the foul shots. Rob Calabro has had a tough game here. The first half, he injured his right ankle. Here in the second half, he took that nasty spill. 1-1. First one is good, so he'll shoot one more. Cuts into that lead. 54-33 is still the score. And the second one, no good. So he was able to make good on the first one. Can't make good on the second one. Montague Wright with the ball on his hand. Directing traffic, wants the pick, gets it, gets into the middle of the lane, puts it up. No good. The teammate was there. Looked like he was going to get the rebound. That was Tony, but Tony couldn't get both hands on that ball. Last touched by the Cardinals, so the Vikings will have possession once again. 6 minutes and 30 seconds away from that final whistle. Remember, fans, this is only game one of our doubleheader. After this, we have CCBC Dundalk Lions against Northampton Community College. It's game two of day one. CCBC Dundalk opening season mixer. Hampton with the ball, doesn't have numbers. It doesn't have space either, but he dumps it off the right with the transition three, no good. Armstead over to Brown. Brown over to Adams. Adams. Down low, good ball movement by the Vikings. I think that's what head coach Howard Levy wanted to see from his team all game long, but it worked there from one player to the next. Down low, Williams with the basket, 2 points. Dribble handoff to Hampton. Flashing is the big. There's Avery Harris looking for the pick. Hampton puts up the shot. Off the rim. Rebound by Williams. Brown over to Armstead. Armstead looking for somebody to pass to. Still has his dribble. Now finally picks it up. Turnaround jumper on the on the shoulder is good. Zangrani with the basket. Timeout taken by the Cardinals. Head coach White not happy with his team as they've given up back-to-back baskets here. 54-37 is the score. Still in favor of the Cardinals. Got a little over a minute left in this break, and we'll be back right after that. You heard right there, Lamar Estep seeing his first action of the game for the Cardinals. Gibson takes the pick from Moody. It goes out of bounds. The Vikings will have possession after that turnover for the Cardinals. Armstead over to Brown. Brown over to Adams. Back to Brown. Gibson almost with the interception. Brown with the pickup. Armstead over. Swish. Good play by Brown to get past that defender. Sucked the defense in on him, and Armstead was there for the open three. It's basketball 101. Cut into the lane. Make the defense draw onto you and kick out to the open teammate. Nice play by Montague Wright, but an even better block by Williams. Wow, Wright with the steal, but Williams with the block. Here's Adams. Now Brown. Over to Armstead. Back to Brown. Adams. Brown, pull up. Oh, off the back of the rim, no good. Brown, he hit that shot a couple times in the first half. He struggled with it here in the second half. Gibson takes the screen. Nice play by Gibson to lullaby his defender to sleep and get past him with a nice little hesitation move. But he's holding his shoulder after the play. That is not a good sign if you're a fan of the Cardinals. Gibson, the leading scorer in this game for the team. And coming off of a 19.8 assist night on Tuesday against Howard Community College. Gibson still holding that shoulder. I'm sure he'll see a seat on the bench for the rest of the second half, as we only have 3 minutes and 47 seconds left in the game. It's a 14-point game, so we've seen crazier things happen. The fat lady is definitely warming up the pipes. Rebound by the Cardinals. A timeout taken. Looks like Gibson's going to stay in. His coach asked him if he's okay. Looks to be okay. Coker will come back into the game, though. Montague Wright will take a seat on the bench. Brown defending Gibson. Gibson goes right into the body, tries to use the glass. A little bit too high. Rebound. The Cardinals, they rip the three, but it's no good. That's his first shot of the game. E-step. Brown over to Adams. Adams over to Armstead. Armstead, dribble handoff to Brown. Brown taking a step back towards that midcourt line. Brown thought about the pullback, step-back jumper, decides to go to Armstead. Armstead, open threes. Good! Back-to-back three-pointers for Armstead. Armstead, grip it and rip it. He's starting to heat up from behind the line. It's now a 9-point game, or excuse me, an 11-point game. But that changes pretty quickly. He goes to a 13-point game after Avery Harris got the ball down low into the painted area, put it up for two, and will have an opportunity to go to the line for 3 points the old-fashioned way. Harris misses the opportunity to make it three the old-fashioned way, but his teammates bail him out with the rebound. Tucker slowing things down per request from his coach. Gibson, the ball in his hands, directing traffic. Avery looked like he was coming to set a pick for Gibson, but Gibson sent him back. Trying to get past Brown here with the fancy dribbling. He's got to make something happen. Pull up three off the front of the iron. A bad possession there by the Cardinals, but you can afford to have some bad possessions when you're up by 13 with 2 minutes left. Vikings get the rebound after the missed shot. And a hard hit there on Armstead, and Armstead will go to the line and try to cut into this lead. 2 minutes and 5 seconds left here in the first half, or excuse me, the second half. 56-43 is the score, still in favor of your Cardinals. Vikings make good on the first foul shot.
Catonsville saw coming into the game, number 2, Keandre Gibson, and number 0, Montague Wright.
Montague Wright and Harvey Page back into the game for the Cardinals. They make good on both foul shots. Now it is 45-56. Vikings force the turnover, but Gibson forces the turnover on the other side. Montague Wright thought about pulling that 3 in transition. Decides to go over to Gibson instead. Gibson dribbles at his defender. Decides to pull back. Tried to trap him, but hands on the body there from Zungrani. Zungrani. You put 2 hands on the defender or on the offensive player like that, especially a full extension in front of the referee, you're going to get called for that every time. That's a frustration foul there. This has definitely been a frustrating afternoon for the Vikings. They find themselves down double digits here with 1 minute and 37 seconds left. 56-45. Cardinals 56, the Vikings 45. But Keandre Gibson has an opportunity to extend that lead back to 13 here. Makes good on the second. 57-45 is the score now. Adams. Interesting to see the Cardinals still trapping here late in the game, even though they're up by so much. Wright with the floater goes off the end of the rim, gets his own rebound, puts it up again, misses it, but this time Moody gets the rebound, puts it in for 2 points. Williams, coast to coast, but a block by Moody. What a block by Moody. Williams, welcome to the block party. Refreshments are on the bench, young man. Woo! What a play by Moody. Minute and 12 seconds left, man. That is the 3rd big block of the game for the Cardinals. Defensively, just manhandling the Vikings in this game. Big steals, big blocks. No wonder they've been up big here in this one. Armstead thought about the 3, decided to pass over to Adams. Adams over to Brown. Brown back over to Armstead with the long pass. Armstead pull up 3, no good. And Coker is there for the rebound. Coker puts the back into the defender. Pass it over to Montague Wright. 45 seconds away from hitting triple zeros. And the Cardinals walking away with their 2nd straight victory. Gibson. Over to Moody. Moody has the pass stolen, what looked like it was going to be stolen momentarily. The whistle blows on Terrence Wong. Coker will go back to the line for the 1-and-1. The team is in the bonus, so Coker will shoot some foul shots. 59-45. Coker makes good on this first one. He'll shoot a second. 45-60 is the score now. 60 for the Cardinals, 45 for the Vikings. The second foul shot, no good, and the lane violation on Coker, as he knew that one was no good and got into the paint before that ball hit the rim. 35 seconds away from the clock hitting triple zeros and hearing that final whistle. Wong, nice play to get the defender up in the air, but can't finish. Gets his own rebound, not once, but twice, or excuse me, the second time around, that was Armstead who got the rebound. Armstead was unable to put it up into the basket. So with 22 seconds left, the Vikings will go back to the line and shoot some more foul shots. Misses the foul shot attempt. Rebound by Tucker. Montague Wright will just hold it out for the final 12 seconds and change. Or excuse me, the Cardinals will just hold it out for the final 7 seconds as Wright passes it over to Coker. Coker almost has it stolen away from him. And a double dribble by Coker. I think he thought that ball was stolen away from him. That's why he could pick his dribble back up. And with 0.1 second left, the Vikings will take back control of the ball. And that's all she wrote. The clock hits 000. The final score for game one of our doubleheader between the CCBC Catonsville Cardinals and the Mercer Community College Vikings. Cardinals 60, the Vikings 46. Stick around for game two of our doubleheader. But before then, we'll have an interview with Coach White and two Cardinals players.
Was to get a big lead.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. Got to. Now, you also came off a big game on Tuesday against Howard Community College, 19 points, 8 assists. So really getting things going offensively in the early part of this game. What can you contribute that to?
My team put me in position. My big set good screen so I could come off hard. My other guards set me up so I could get open shots. So all the credit is to my team.
That's a good teammate right there. I know I'll see you tomorrow, and I'm sure you'll have a big game tomorrow as well. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks.
All right, I'm standing here with Eddie Harry. You got to look up to you. Now, big guys usually don't shoot the three at this level. Was that the first three you've made all season?
No, sir.
No, sir? You've been practicing that three in the offseason?
Yes, sir.
Now, you played big minutes off the bench, came up with some big rebounds, scored some points for your team, and your team's had a lot of contributors off the bench this season. What does that mean to you to be one of those key contributors off the bench for your team?
It means a lot. Coach always preaches about being ready, staying ready, coming off the bench. So, I just try to do that. I just try to stay ready.
You got to stay ready and hit those shots when you get those opportunities. We'll be sticking around to watch this game, maybe pick up some pointers for tomorrow's game.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow, and good luck. Thank you very much. I'm Aaron Thomas. Stick around for Game 2 of the doubleheader between CCBC Dundalk Lions and Northampton Community College.